Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 25 of the Soul Rollers podcast, where we discuss Jiu-Jitsu life and self-mastery. My name is Jackson Gage. I'm here with my co-host, William P. Dennis, aka Turner Smiles. And we're here to talk about some Jiu-Jitsu and life and self-mastery on the quarter century. Is that right? Quarter century episode here. 25 of these bitches knocked out every week, regardless of what the fuck's going on in our life, full-time other shit going on. And we still make the time to connect and record and give a gift of our passion to the world free of charge. So I hope you appreciate it, motherfucker. And glad you're listening. And man, this is what we like doing, man. It's a good vibe at all times. So thank you for listening, and check out our Instagram at Soul Rollers JJ. We would appreciate it. I think everything's been going good. I didn't train last week because for a few reasons, mainly school started and I'm trying to figure out my rides and all this shit. And so that was a weird week, but I wasn't able to train. And what else is going on? Got a few things I want to talk about, those B12 shots and this little workout I picked up that's really easy and really effective, and you don't have to do it that long. So I want to talk about that. And I don't have any shout outs this week. Oh yeah, shout out Vanessa. Vanessa just got her blue belt. She was on her way to Kauai for a month to go over there and just chill on the island. And she was binge. She put up a story that she was binge listening to Soul Rollers, and we appreciate the shit out of that. So thank you, Vanessa. And man, glad to hear you were listening to us sit and talk about shit, sit and talk about life. So hopefully we bring some value. And I can get to those topics in a little bit. First, I'll ask my co-host, William Dennis, Mr. Dad Life, because that's what his hat says. How are you doing, man, with your Memento Mori poster behind you? Is that what that is? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Memento Mori. What does that mean? It's
remember
Latin.
You will die. Like
remember you will die. Memento Mori. What does that mean to the listener? Think about that. If you're the listener, what does that mean? Memento Mori. Remember you will die. How does that affect your daily life?
Yeah. That's the focus, right? It's like, there's a countdown. There's an end to this,
There's a fucking end. But maybe it's a new beginning.
And if we all acknowledge that, then it's like you bring back the focus to this present moment and do something with it,
Present moment awareness.
What would make this moment matter to you? What's necessary for you to bring to life now instead, with regrets, it's like, oh man, I'm not going to do this because I might regret it after I do it. Or you look back and go, man, I regret not doing all these things, right? Like, which perspective are you coming from? Like, not doing something moving forward because you might regret it, which means just being afraid of making a mistake and, being judged for it, or looking back on your life going, shit, I didn't do all this stuff and I regret all of it, and there's nothing I could do about it. Because you can recover from a mistake. You can recalibrate, you can restart, you can, start again, and if anything, your life, if you really look back on the story of your life, it'll show you that, like, you can overcome tragedy, you can overcome heartbreak, you can overcome bankruptcy or whatever it might be, whatever human tragedy you experience, you can be recreated from the ashes, that Phoenix story, right?
Yep.
But what you can't overcome is time. Time is undefeated. So if you look back at your life when you're 87 years old and go, fuck, I regret so much and there's nothing I can do about it, it's a whole different story from sitting where you are right now in this moment going, there's going to be a point in time, whether I'm 67, 94, 106, I don't know, whatever that time date is for you, that timestamp is for you, but there's going to be a point in time when your day is done and you're going to look back and go, man, I half-assed everything in my life.
Don't do it.
I never really went for it.
Don't be in that situation.
What position do you want to be in, And we all fail. Like, today has been a mess. Like, my life isn't good today. It's like, meaning, whatever good, the relative term of good means, to each person, but it's been all over the place. My head's all over the place. Like, where's my attention? And the one thing about this podcast is, and about training jiu-jitsu, I've gone to jiu-jitsu training and been stressed out, fighting with my wife, whatever might be happening. And I could just take a deep breath, and I'm about to start warm-ups, and I'm like just let out a deep breath going, and I'll just reset, recalibrate, right? Focus on the moment. And the beautiful thing about training is you got to be there. When someone's trying to choke you, you got to pay attention, you got to defend. And there's something about the community, even when you're rolling and they've been through it too. It's a shared experience, right? They're like, oh yeah, come here with your worries, right? And then leave them at the door, get focused, let it out, get exhausted, get choked, kind of be humbled. And then you walk out that door with a new lens, a new focus.
Yeah.
And you see it differently. It's almost like those problems that you came with that were so heavy just aren't so heavy anymore. They're a little lighter, or a lot lighter, or they just don't even matter anymore because your mind's so calm and peaceful. It's like, what the fuck? And it's the same thing with this podcast. Like, we're on here now. It's like all the woes of the world, right, could be crushing us, or the challenges we faced this morning. I got dad life is real for me.
Mm-hmm.
I got 3 kids going to 3 different schools, and I got to get each one of them to that, school at a certain time frame. And the schools are all weird right now with all the stuff going on, and dad life is real. And then I got a baby on the way, and it's just like, whew, like shit's getting real.
Yeah.
And so it brings me to the moment, right? And I'm grateful for that. The shout out, we got a review from D. That's a shout out.
Oh yeah, D. D time. We need D needs his own like like a quick little intro music of piano. Like whenever you say D, then a piano plays, and then we just start talking about D for 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah. So that was great. And I also
thank you.
If you're listening, share this with someone, even if they don't do jiu-jitsu, maybe they'll connect for some reason, that's what we're doing it for. If we can all connect as a community on here, it might lead more people to jiu-jitsu, or just some kind of self-mastery or some kind of change in their life if they connect with what we're sharing. So share it, rate and review means a lot. Follow us, all that stuff really helps. And I just want to call that out. It's such a way of, helping us in such a big way by, them taking that action and taking the time to do that. It means a lot. So
yeah, right on. Yeah, man. So I don't know I got a few things I want to talk about today, man, that I want to bring up that I think could be valuable to people. So first off, just really quick, I want to give my I was talking last week. I never watch TV, but a couple people who I respect recommended me to watch something. So I was like, fuck, I'll watch the documentary, and it's called Fantastic Fungi. And it's really fucking in depth. Like I highly recommend, if you can watch that, and you'll see the world differently after watching it. Just from watching that, you'll definitely interact differently with Earth. And it's a really powerful documentary. It's on Netflix right now. Fantastic Fungi. Definitely, anyone listening, I highly, highly recommend that shit. Really good. I learned a lot of shit watching that, So yeah, that I just wanted to if I have a good recommendation, I definitely want to share that with everybody, because especially if it's something that I think will raise your consciousness, or that will help you become a better person. So yeah, definitely check that out. It's amazing. And then there was something else. Oh, the workout. I just wanted to share this because a lot of people listening looking for ways to work out. I've been looking more into like primal movement and shit like that, animal movement, as just to do it, as it's good for jiu-jitsu, man, as a warm up, as whatever. But I found this one guy, and he was talking about how, like, if you just take 5 minutes before your workout and you crawl around on your hands and feet without letting your knees touch, and you just crawl, and you find ways to move in a crawling and kind of, without touching the ground, that shit. So I did it. And he was like, this is how you work your abs, you work your whole body, and it's natural to you. You open your hips, you strengthen everything, and so I looked at another one of his videos. He was showing how to like monkey walk. You know what I mean? So like he's walking like a chimpanzee, like at a diagonal angle on your fucking knuckles, and like crossing your feet. And bro, so that shit is like, I don't know if you like Ida Portal, the guy, there's a reason why Conor McGregor was training with Ida Portal, and he was learning these movements and shit. That's how we should be moving, I mean, maybe not crawling around on our hands and feet, but it's pretty dope, man. Like I saw the guy doing it, I was like, that looks fucking dope. And so I've been doing it before my workout. It is so hard. I challenge anyone listening to crawl around on your feet and hands without letting your knees touch, keeping your core engaged for 5 minutes. Try that shit. Like just go all around 5 minutes. You will be afterward. It's like you had a roll, like you're fucking breathing hard. Your whole body is engaged. It is it's an excellent 5 minute fucking workout. So, I mean, I'm at the fucking, there's this big green turf at my gym. And everybody, it's like kind of like a fancy gym and shit too. They have eucalyptus infused refrigerated towels waiting for you and shit, and it's not that packed, but it's like in like a more, the people there, like they pay a lot to go there. And so it's a nice private gym, and these people are all lifting weights. And here I am, like fucking just walking like a fucking monkey, like all around the grass area, like the turf inside, surrounded by these. I'm the only one. I was like, fuck it, I'm letting my ego go. I'm walking like a fucking monkey right now for 5 minutes. I don't give a fuck, And it was a great workout, but I probably look like a maniac, just some fucking dude, all kind of tattoos and shit running around. And I was trying to move my head around to make it look more like a chimpanzee movement and shit. Like I wanted to look as close to a fucking primate as possible. In my mind, I was thinking like, fuck, should I like do a monkey sound right now? Like just scare everybody. Anyhow, man. But what I'm saying is to anybody listening, go try that shit. Walk around and hit me up if you want the videos from that guy. Cause that was an excellent fuck. I'm doing it every day for my warm up before lifting. Even before it's a cardio workout for 5 minutes, and you have to let go of your ego. Go do it where there's a lot of people around and imagine yourself being a monkey.
Yeah, go do it at the grocery store and just bite people.
Yeah, do it. It looks so cool when you walk around like a chimp.
So do it at your gym, at your academy, and just you're just biting people's gis and just acting like a fool.
It's really good movement for jiu-jitsu, man. Because while you're doing it, you can throw in like oh fuck, I can't think of the what the fuck is the movement where you say someone sprawled on you. I just can't think of the word. Someone sprawled on you and you kick your leg out. Like it's a warm up that you do where you fucking like kick your legs out under you. God damn it. It's a wrestling. Fuck, forget it. I'll think of it later. Like someone listening is going to be like, oh yeah, it's that, dummy. But yeah, man, try that shit. Try it and tell me how it goes, guys. So
yeah,
anyhow, that was a long way around telling something. Yeah. So anyhow, what's been up with you? You've been imitating any animals?
No, I have not. But that goes with jiu-jitsu. It's if you really think about, I think about my first day and trying to do the warm-ups. I felt so awkward. He's like, coach has to break it down step by step for you. Like, put your knee here, put your arm here, and then forward roll. And you're like, what? Like your brain wants you to do the opposite. It just doesn't make any sense. And then now it's, you've done it so many times, you're moving your body. Even when you watch, like there was that video, I think I sent it to you, where someone came that was trained in jiu-jitsu, helped an officer make an arrest.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
And if you look at the way he's moving and the way he's, using jiu-jitsu to control the guy's movements, it just makes sense. It's actually, he looks like he's using his body properly. Yeah. And I really think that that's what you're talking about with the movements of like the animal movements that match, bodily movements. And this through being an officer, just my body was broken down after that career where I wasn't using my body properly. I was forcing things. I wasn't trained properly at all. And, my body was just broken down from all the wrecks and the fights and all the bull crap. And then now through jiu-jitsu, with a bad back and everything else, I just didn't think I would ever be able to do something like jiu-jitsu. And now I'm seeing that with proper movements and proper, diet and proper health, activities, you can actually improve your body's capabilities and, issues. There is room for improvement, and it's with proper movement. It's with proper, like yoga and different things make a difference. Stretching, and then I guess running like a monkey, you can improve yourself.
Yeah, try it.
I think that's important. It really does like connect you with your body again. I think we're very disconnected from many things like that.
Yeah. No, it's important, dude. We're completely disconnected from our nature, man. Like and that's not healthy at all for us as a species, as a society. That the journey is back to connection. Like that's what we're all headed toward, is that back to connection. And if you don't connect while you're alive, I promise you'll connect with the earth when you die. You know what I mean? You might as well connect now because it's waiting for you. You know what I mean? And the true health is when we're connected back to who we truly are, man, to our nature. We quit trying to act like these fucking weird robots that we're not,
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Yeah, good shit.
Well, for me, I think like two things that I was thinking of is, working on, writing something for like soul rollers and really focusing in on, a big thing for me is, and my coach talks about it a lot is, just, being skilled on the mats isn't the only goal. It's being a great person off the mats as well. And one thing I want to do is contribute towards that goal, which I think is the focus of soul rollers, is how can we use jiu-jitsu to become better on and off the mats? And that's something I want to write on. And so if anyone has any things, impacts that jiu-jitsu's had on them that they think is very valuable, that they want to get out there, let us know. I'd love to, send me a message, tell me what you think, like what are the biggest key benefits you've got in your life from jiu-jitsu? How has it impacted your life, in a positive way, or benefited you or made you a better person outside of jiu-jitsu? That's the kind of stuff I want to hear and want to know, and I want to write about. And offer up as, value. And then one thing that was happening in my life that, is kind of, because one thing I really do see is we can use what we learn on the mats and translate it, use it as an analogy and to improve off the mats. So I really think that is the whole purpose of like why we started doing this, is seeing the benefits of both.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, I'm always comparing the two, like it's contrast, right? Like, okay, how is this difficulty on the mats, how is that translatable to what I'm facing off the mats in my life, right? Whether it's my marriage, my friendships, career, finances, whatever it is. And so for me, like, one thing I was talking to you about is like, hey, I have this clear plan of dad life, trying to get the kids to school. I got to get gas in the car. I got to do all these things. And it's very rare that the circumstances of life play out to match the plan that I had for my day, right? I'm like, shit, I'm going to get this podcast done this morning. I'm going to do this, that, and I'm going to go train. I'm going to do it. And everything that I had planned this morning went the opposite way of my plan.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing happens on the mat. Is when the thing that I think is wonderful about jiu-jitsu is when you roll, like you live roll with someone, it never really plays out. Like you're trying to work maybe a sweep, or you're trying to work your close guard or your half guard or whatever. And it's just like, there's some rolls where I just get crushed the whole time and on bottom, and I'm trying to just recover my guard. I'm just trying to get back to neutral. And I'm like, well, didn't get to work that move one time, right? Or the move of the day or whatever it is. There's just some people that are so good that keep you on your toes, right? You're just trying to survive the whole match, and you never really get to work what you planned on working, right? And it's like, those two are really comparable to me. And I'm trying to work out, like, how do you focus on a certain priority in life, but remain flexible enough to learn and grow as life gives you different looks or different challenges? Is that an understandable question?
Yeah, that is the question. That's the question, man. That is the question that keeps people from, how do you focus on what you want to do in life? Like how do you focus on your mission, whatever you want to call it? How do you focus on it while still dealing with the world?
Yeah.
And a lot of the time what happens is people let the world stop them from doing the things they want to do because they can't figure out that question. I think a lot of it, I know a lot of it really comes down to having a really strong discipline. You really got to have some type of strong discipline, because, man, especially, raising kids and working or whatever it is you're doing, it's easy to get away from your mission here on earth, man, your purpose. It's really easy to get away from it because, and have really fucking valid excuses. I don't know if they're valid, but they're valid in our own minds. The universe is like, I don't give like, your excuses mean nothing,
Yeah.
like as soon as you act, you're waiting on me, but I've been waiting on you. You got to act. You have to act on it and be disciplined with it, no matter what your circumstances are. Something small every day, but it's difficult. It's a difficult question, because life will throw shit at you continuously, and I think those things are thrown at us to see how bad we want to get to where we're going,
Well, it's like what I was saying about the roll, right? So here I am, I want to work De La Riva, and I don't think that you're going to be like, okay, cool, go ahead, rip, get me. It's like, no, you're probably going to be focusing on something. I'm working on my passing, knee slice, whatever. And you're going to be doing something opposite of what I want to work on, right? If we were rolling together. Yeah. And that's where I'm like, well, life isn't going to give you what you want. It's going to give you the circumstances that in which you need to grow and make you better. And most of the time, that's the opposite of what you think you want. That's how the two compare or contrast each other, or give you that analogy to, take what you're learning on the mats and translate it to make your life better off the mats. That's our focus for soul rollers. That's what I really want. That's what I want to ride on. So it's like clarity, right? What's the goal here? And really, when I set goals, it's like, it's so easy to get caught up in society's material, like settings of goals, like, hey, get more money, get more of this, but like, get to the root, like get to the really cause of it. Like, why do we want to go to jiu-jitsu? I want to be a better person. I want to know myself better. I want to go within and have more self-awareness. That's my focus with jiu-jitsu, because like I said, it gets you into that flow, and it gets you into a space where you really see your weaknesses. There's no faking it. I think I posted a quote about that Bernardo Faria, or the BJJ Fanatics guy. He said that it's like, there's no faking it. You can buy the most expensive gis, you can do everything, drink, expensive water or whatever. I don't know, whatever you want to try to up your game, I guess. But there's no faking it. You either, what you show up, you see who you are. Mm-hmm. And I want life to translate that way too. It's like, we get so protective of failing in life that we're never able to see who we really are or where we're at in life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So jiu-jitsu is a beautiful, safe place to really actually see who you are and where you're at in the skill set of jiu-jitsu. So when I go there and I roll with my professor and he just smashes me into the mat, I don't get up like, oh man, what's wrong with me? I'm a terrible person. I'm an idiot. He'd be like, what, bro, what are you talking about? Like, did you think you're going to come in here and submit me? Like, you know, someone that's like a master at this craft, I wouldn't expect myself to go in there and just be like, here, you know, and just, you know, submit him right away. It wouldn't make sense. But yet in life, where I don't remember mastering life yet, like the ideal of self-mastery is the focus of that, but I'm still a white belt, right? I'm still learning in many aspects of life. Why don't I approach it with the same understanding and the same space in order to learn and grow, you know, when I mess up, you know, dad life stuff. And that's how, like, there's just so much. I could go all day with, like, I'm a deep thinker. I always think of these ideas. And I think really having clarity on what you're trying to accomplish with your life and, like you're saying, your purpose and working towards expressing that daily, even in small ways, gives you like some kind of reprieve from that judgment or ridicule that you might have of yourself while you're seeing yourself not be in your purpose yet. So with goals, who do you want to be? Like, what kind of person do you want to be first? And then the doing of the goals, the accomplishing of the goals is connected to who you want to be as a person inside.
Yeah, Jim Rohn said that shit. He said it's not what you get from it's not what you set a big goal. It's not what you get from the goal. It's who you become en route to the motherfucker, you know, and that's an excellent mindset to remember in life, because that goes back to gratitude. We're not grateful for what's going on as we're walking toward our goals. Sometimes we give up on our goals, but it's really just forming you into who you need to be to get to your goal. So when you get there, you give thanks for the journey, man, you know?
Yeah.
And as far as like you were talking about, I don't expect to go in and tap my professor, you know, but that's because of jiu-jitsu too. You know, like jiu-jitsu has made you realize that you're not the fucking top of the goddamn food chain. You know what I mean? You're walking through life. There's motherfuckers that will just take you down and fucking break your neck. You know, they'll just crush your trachea and there's nothing you could fucking do. You know what I mean? And that's not a good, you know, most motherfuckers walk around with that level of fucking self-defense, you know, and in their mind, they're like, oh, you see those memes and it's true. And your mind is like, no, if you piss me off, man, if I start seeing red, I'll fuck somebody up. You know, it doesn't matter if I'm with my family and someone, you know, it doesn't matter about training. I'll beat somebody's ass. And that's the ego talking, and it's dangerous. And I'm getting somewhere with this, but yeah, man, there's definitely, damn, you think about it, man, like no matter how tough you think you are, there's guys who will fucking hold you down and just break your limbs off, and you're going to be helpless. You're going to sit there like, fuck, here goes my fucking arm broken in half. Nothing I can do, you know? And what I'm saying with that is, you know, that you can't tap your professor because of experience, like because of jiu-jitsu, but there's guys who I tell to fucking go train, and I can tell that they have an arrogant idea of jiu-jitsu. They're like I got a couple of athletic buddies, strong athletic dudes who are just like, in their mind, I can tell by talking to them, they're thinking, well, I'll fuck those guys up. Like, why would I go do jiu-jitsu when I can beat all their ass already? I already know how to fight. You know what I mean? So walking in, you know, you might think you can tap a fucking black belt because you've never experienced the fact that there's no way that you can. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, you can't fuck with your professor because you've been in there getting your ass beat by other white belts when you were a white belt, you know? So I don't know all that, but I hope that you can take something from that. Yeah.
What does that give you? Like, if that humility of going, hey, I don't have life all figured out. I don't have jiu-jitsu all figured out. What is the benefit of that? Why is that valuable? Instead of going, man, pump yourself up with your ego, right? Why is it beneficial to go, you know what? I have shortcomings. I have weaknesses. I have insecurities. I have fears. I'm struggling in certain aspects of my life. Why is that valuable? Why is self-awareness in those areas, just like in jiu-jitsu, why does it make us better?
Yeah. Well, you know, because I don't know if you're asking me that or you're asking the listener,
yeah,
but
your opinion.
I think it makes us better because as you translate that into life, you realize like someone who thinks they can tap out a fucking black belt so they don't even need to train jiu-jitsu, when your ego's at that level, you also will quit right away when you try something difficult and you face any difficulty, because your ego's like, fuck it, I'm not gonna try this, you know, like this isn't for me or whatnot. But when you realize, fuck, there's a long journey to get to the goals that we set, and we just have to endure, then you can set any goal and you can endure toward that goal. And that's the mindset that you learn in jiu-jitsu. And it's truly translated in the short amount of time, the couple years I've been doing jiu-jitsu, however long, you know, that's translated into my life with everything I'm doing. I have a knowing that I'm a white belt. Anything I begin, I'm a white belt. It's always the jujitsu fucking metaphors and shit, like and that's everyone I talk to. Oh, you're just a white belt now at that. Just don't worry, you're a white belt, just keep at it, but we apply that to our own life too. Like a podcast, we're white belts. And if we keep doing it, if we keep showing up, we'll turn into masters of this shit, and it grow, everything will grow around it. Any goal you set. And jujitsu, and you can tell somebody that, but their ego blocks their fucking ears when you talk to people like that who haven't experienced it, So people who train jujitsu know exactly what I'm talking about because they experience it.
Yeah. So, well, it's the same thing as like you telling me about half guard, and I'm like, okay, I understand it. You put your leg there, you do this, but then when I go and roll, I'm like, oh, this is way different. Like the idea of it, the information of it, and then the application of the information of it are two different things, and both are valuable and both are necessary.
Yeah.
So exactly. with that understanding, like, I've been reading this book that by the Dalai Lama or whatever. It's the Book of Joy. I don't know if I sent you the picture of it.
No, you told me you didn't send me a picture.
It was talking about like even the Dalai Lama, when he approaches like speaking to people, he's like, there's only one Dalai Lama in the entire world. And that can put a lot of pressure on me to try to connect and, help people understand what I'm trying to share with them. But when he looks at himself, he's like, I am one of 7 billion people. I don't look at myself as different than the people I'm talking to or sharing, my teaching to. I just simply look at them as another a version of me. Like we're all humans in this together. And that's where your whole like perspective shifts. And what you're saying is like, you view life differently. You allow yourself to have space and understanding that, hey, I'm building the skill sets. I'm learning this. I'm growing. You have the mindset of a learner, and it's like wearing different glasses, right? If you wear like blue tinted glasses, everything you look at is going to be blue, right? And it's just, you're giving yourself a different perspective of life when you approach it with, hey, I'm a white belt. What changes with your experience when you look at it that way, as opposed to like, oh man, I got to justify not being good at this through my ego to try to hide from my insecurities or my struggles with life. When really every human, if the 7 billion humans, we all struggle in some way, and we connect and understand each other through our struggles, not through our perfection. Because who's perfect in this world? No one.
Nobody.
And that's the point. It's like we have this perfect plan, like I did this morning, in this dad life plan, and not a goddamn thing of it works. Like none of it. Everything switched. Everything changed. And that's what, with that newer mindset, that learner mindset, we're here to grow. We're here to be flexible and understand that it's cool to have a plan. Like go to class with a plan. Like you're going to work your sweeps. You have an aim. You have a focused aim to work towards a goal or ideal. But understand that the striving towards that goal is the value, not the outcome, not getting the goal. Like I got the sweep. Yay. No. It's all the struggle you did to get towards, you go through 5 different rolls. You didn't get them the first 4 rolls, and you got the sweep on the last roll you did. Boom. It was all the adjustments you made through failing over and over and over again that got you to the outcome. And all the failing is where the value was. The striving, the growth through the striving and the enduring and the struggle is where the value lies in life. And so when life presents us with circumstances that don't match our plan, it's given us the perfect resistance we need to learn from our mistakes and become better. That's my point through all of it. And so I'm trying to learn, and that's what I really want to write on and use all the stuff I'm learning is like, where is these like points that really benefit in jiu-jitsu that make us better, from white belt to black belt. What are the things that with our mind that allowed us to like, okay, I'm going to take this step, and it kept us growing. It kept us, evolving on the mat to get us to the next level. Right.
Yeah.
And how do we take that off the mats and apply it like we are on this podcast to make our lives better? That's all I care about. Like as a coach and as a human, like that's my passion, right? That's my purpose. I want to help people become better. I want to grow and become better myself. That's like where my passion lies,
Yeah. Likewise. Ditto. Well, for one, people's stories too, as we have guests on, we can ask that question to them, and you can take those stories and translate them into the book form as well. Like this guy did this was his story. This is what, so people can see some, but real quick, also anyone listening, we definitely want to try to like generate questions as well on any of these topics. So if you have any questions or there's something you'd like us to discuss and go in depth on, we would like highly appreciate, like hit one of us up or at soulrollers_JJ. And we'll discuss, like, we'll go deeper into something we talked about. If you have a question about something we said, anything, that's what we are here for. We want to, create a communication and, a dialogue with anybody who's getting any value out of this to try to help you out even further if we can, because in helping you out, we help out everybody who's listening, so hit us up with any questions that you may have. We want to continue to encourage that. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there real quick, man.
Yeah, it's like with the guests we've already had with Steve, it's like take it home with you, right? Take the learning and the growth home, practice, right? You can't just like with school, like if you go to college, you can't go to college or you go to high school, or you do any of the schooling stuff. Like you can't just go to school and do the work there and then come home and not do anything. You got to take the homework with you and get some more reps in, right? More practice.
Yeah.
And it's like, studying involves your personal experience of immersing yourself a little bit more. And you got to bring jujitsu home with you as well. Like really aiming towards getting more studying in, watching more videos, learning things that you can take back onto the mats with you and apply. You got to have that, and I think that's what, we're all experts on ourselves, whether we put in the time or not. Like, yourself better than anyone. I know myself better than anyone, whether I want to or not. And so every other person, it's not like I have any answers for you that are specific for you. I just simply have an experience of life that I share. And then that translates to information that you can use to learn and have contrast to better yourself with. That's the focus. Like, I'm not here to give you answers and tell you what to do because I'm not you. But what I can do is just offer up my shared experience, my story, and my information of my experience so that you can use that as contrast to use and better yourself. Just like what your partner does, or, that you're rolling against. They give you resistance that you can use as information to better your game. Right?
Yes.
That's what we're trying to do. And that's how we're trying to translate jujitsu and life. And that's the focus. So I really believe, like with Steve, it's like, take it home with you. Like, how are you applying it at home? Like, what are you doing to study and grow? The same thing with D. It's like, he had like, a focus of like self-defense and just like improving himself and getting his son involved and doing different things. It's like, it's just small steps that got him to where he is now. He started for different reasons than what's keeping him going now. So just getting started may be something different. And it's just like, man, life really throws stuff at you that you can grow with if you take the time to,
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, all right. I'm going to switch directions a little bit here because we've been going on that topic for a while. Real quick, I just want to give a quick shout out to Savvy D in Florida. He flew to Florida. He's competing at Pan Am's. So, and he's been working super hard. Blue belt. I don't know what master's level, but he's been working his ass off while he just started a pizza business as well, like a pop-up pizza business. So Pilot Pizza in San Diego. I haven't got to try it yet, but it looks really fucking good. So if you're in San Diego, make sure you check out Pilot Pizza. My boy Savvy, he's hardworking. There's another example of dude running, trying to get a business going, and he's training his ass off to fly to Florida and compete. So, yeah, man. Yeah, good luck with all that, Savvy. I'm going to try to watch his match. So anyhow, I just want to get that in there. And then what else? Oh, I wanted to share a story real quick. Let me share this story before we have to go. So the story I wanted to share is, so last week, because I want to keep people updated and I want to give people information on how to feel better. And so I told you that I went to a holistic health practitioner last week and I got some different things going on with that. And she prescribed me the vitamin B12 injections. And so they gave me the first one last week. It's once a week and they give you about a year's worth for $150, which is really affordable. And I was looking at the benefits. It does all kinds of shit for you. Like, it does all kinds of things for you. And it's natural and we don't get enough of it in our diet, so it makes you feel really good. But the just real quick, if you've never given yourself a shot before, it's not as fucking easy as you would think it is. Like it is. I woke up, I'm like, okay, I've been thinking about this all week. All right, here we go. I went and got the fucking syringe that I filled out of the refrigerator and I let it warm up. And then I fucking went, and you got to give the shot like in the top of your butt, so like your butt cheek or whatever. And so I'd go in the bathroom and I take the motherfucker out and I look at the needle. You look at the needle and you're like, no, I'm just looking at this long ass, like 3-inch motherfucker. And I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going to be able to do this shit. How am I going to shove this? I've never done this before, So I pull up some YouTube videos on how to do it, even though I already know how. So I watch 3 YouTube videos of people giving themselves shots in the ass. And and while I'm watching the YouTube, I'm doing combat breathing and shit, 2 seconds in, 2 seconds hold, 2 seconds out, 2 seconds hold. I learned that shit as a cop, how to slow your heart rate. So I'm like slowing my heart rate and then I sit back down, bro, like 4 or 5 times. this was almost 15 to 20 minutes of me looking at this needle, So I don't know if you've never done it. Just imagine yourself shoving something into your goddamn body. But anyhow, what happened was finally I did it. I was like, fuck, I got to do it. I got to do it. Fuck it. And all the videos, the needle was 3 times shorter than the needle I have. The needle in the videos was less than an inch. It was just a little inch. And then one I have is actually 3 inches, and you got to put it all the way in. And that's what she said. And so I'm sitting there and I just put it to my skin and I just do it, dude. Just push it fucking 3 inches in. Bro, there was not even a pinch. You couldn't even feel it. It didn't even feel like anything. It was the weirdest goddamn thing. So anyhow, I pumped the B12 into my body and then I left that situation with a moral. I left with a moral. There's a moral to this story. So the moral of the story is, our mind gets ourselves so worked up over things and so filled with fear that sometimes we don't even attempt it. And that's what happened there. I almost didn't do it. I worked myself up with fear. But the minute that I just took the action and went past my fear, I realized it was nothing. And this is easy. And now I can feel good all the time because I got this vitamin B in me, and I could have just not done it at all because I was scared. Like, fuck it. There's a lot of people that would like, no, I'm not injecting myself. I don't do needles, all this fucking bullshit. But I just replayed the teachings that you always hear in your head, like go past the fear. And that's where the good shit is, and so there is a moral to that story. But the first one is really go get B12 from your holistic health practitioner, your local one. And the second part is it really sucks the first time you got to put a goddamn needle in your body. But the third part is there's always going to be fear and it's always going to be just in your head. And you always have to take the step through the fear to take that veil away and realize that it was all in your head, and all the good shit is on the other side of that fear that you're scared to walk through. So yeah, that's the moral to that story. That's my B12 injection story.
It's a powerful moral to get out of ass injections.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty powerful. Is it an insulin needle? Like,
what's an insulin needle?
It's like the gauge of the needle is like.
It might be. I don't know the gauge of it. It's pretty thin. It's a thin needle. It's just long as fuck. So yeah, but here's
my needle story. With my cauliflower ear, it got real swollen and got real bad the first time before I'd ever drained it. And I'd never drained it before. I never dealt with that before, of course. And so I went to Tractor Supply. It's like a Home Depot or Lowe's kind of like store. And I got like animal needles, like the needles that they use for vets and shit. And so it's like a
country ass motherfucker. You country as fuck. Like fuck the doctor. I'm gonna go to the farm animal shit and get some needles.
Yeah, I didn't want to go to like the doctor to have them drain my cauliflower ear. I was like, well, fuck, my wife can drain it. I mean, and so I looked up YouTube videos too on how to drain cauliflower ear and stuff too, because I didn't know what the hell to do. But man, like the difference between like a animal syringe or whatever, it was like clean and shit, but it was like so humongous when she had to like twist it to like pop it through my skin. It hurt so bad. And then I ordered on Amazon because I mean, what the hell? Why wouldn't I just go to Amazon instead of Tractor Supply like an idiot? I ordered insulin needles on Amazon. And so the width of the needle is so much different with the insulin needles. It's so much better. And so, oh my gosh, make sure you just order those insulin needles on Amazon instead of going to Tractor Supply. And fuck, did that hurt when that first time she drained it?
Damn.
Oh, it was awful.
Over and shit.
Oh man, it was so painful. But so that was my needle experience. And but what was amazing is after a while, my fear of like, that needle didn't, the first time I just kind of, endured it. But doing it myself would have been a lot harder than having my wife do it too. So
have you done it yourself yet?
The draining, I haven't had to. It's kind of like.
So have you ever put a needle in yourself? It's a fucking experience, bro.
Yeah, I've removed stitches. I've had to cut the stitches and remove those from myself. I don't think I've ever injected myself in anything.
All right, if your cauliflower gets big again, I challenge you to do your own drainage and see what it's like putting a needle in your own fucking self.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. It's weird. Definitely. You put up a big wall to it.
Yeah, it's like you're inflicting pain on yourself or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird.
It's a very weird mindset. It's the same thing with jiu-jitsu. It's like we're willingly going there to like inflict pain on ourselves almost. But yet we love it.
Exactly. Those things make us better.
And there's benefits to it, like you know it's going to make you feel better, so it's worth it. Like, why is it necessary to inject yourself in the ass with vitamin B? But now that you know the benefits and the veil of fear that isn't real, hey, you're off to the races.
Yeah, it's about feeling good, man. I've found that my life has become a constant mission of feeling good, and not with outside not with anything but natural sources, like how do I feel good? Because when you feel good, you're happy. And really at the bottom of all of our endeavors, happiness is, we're trying to reconnect. We want to reconnect with our happiness, because when you're happy, what else do you fucking need? I'm happy. When you say, I want this job, I want this money, I want this marriage. Why do you want it? Well, why do you want self-awareness? And you keep asking why. If I keep asking you why you want these things, your last answer is going to be, I want to be happy. So for me, feeling good makes me happy. And I've realized that when I was younger, it's, oh, I got to get this Beamer. I got to get this house. I got to get this real estate investment. I got to get this beautiful woman. I got to chase these things. But then you realize, man, this doesn't make me feel good. And now it's like, fuck, B12 in the ass, jiujitsu, fucking eating good, staying active. These things make me feel good. Doing the things I love, being passionate, serving people, giving my gift to the world, being of service to the people around me, being a friend for the people around me. Those are the things that make you feel good, man. And that makes your life worth living. You know what I mean? So as you go along through life, you realize, damn, this is just about feeling good, and it's not the kind of good like alcohol and that kind of good. It's because that doesn't it's natural, and it's all just shedding the layers of ego and domestication that we've grown with, it's a pretty deep topic. We could go on that forever too.
That's the moral, right? Is like deciding the ideal, the goal, the outcome that you desire, and then removing everything that isn't that. Right? Eating a bunch of ice cream and a bunch of crap isn't that, right? If you want to feel good, if your focus is health and, feeling good, you're eliminating all the stuff that doesn't match with that ideal. Same thing with jiu-jitsu. It's like, hey, I want to get good at this, close guard, half guard, whatever. You start focusing on that, and that's where your attention and your energy goes, and you get better and you grow. Same thing with life. What are you focusing on? Where's your attention? If it's with what's wrong with the world or this, that, and the other, and it isn't about what's going on with you and your self-awareness, you're going to be pulled in all these different directions, because life will give you whatever resistance it does. And then it's expecting you to focus on what's most important for you and grow yourself, have self-awareness, not get caught up in the tragedies of life all the time and get all wrapped up in your daily schedule that didn't work out or whatever. So you're living that, right? And it gives you these things that now, because you decided you want to feel good, now you've learned all these different things about you that make you feel good, right? Yep. Just like with jiu-jitsu, it's like, man, I really love half guard. Like you talk about that a lot. Now you're like, oh, collar sleeve is a lot of fun. And you're seeking out people that are masters at it, and you learn from them, and you're adding more to things in jiu-jitsu that make you happy, that make you have fun, that make you playful there. It's like, this is fun. This is awesome. So it translates to life, right? Just like with sticking a needle in your ass. It's a part of the game. It's part of the process.
Yep. I'd say that's a topic, oh, we could do a whole podcast on that topic too, man. The fucking reason for being alive episode.
Well, in the next episode, or pretty soon, we got a new guest coming on. That'll be a surprise. That'll be something exciting. We got someone that you chatted with.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be fun. We'll keep that a surprise. So into the next one, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Making good connections. The community is growing and building. And we just want to keep bringing light to amazing people in the jiu-jitsu community, and keep having guests on and sharing different stories, right? Different ideas, different experiences that might connect with someone that doesn't connect with my experience or your experience or whatever.
Yeah. Just being, exactly. Just doing our job to be some type of light in this world. You know what I mean? Which is the job of really, it's all of our jobs to figure out how to feel good and how to be a light in this world, Yeah. And if you're not there yet and you don't understand what I'm saying, then, I'm sorry, but maybe you do, maybe you do realize that we all have a purpose. We all have a mission, and it's bigger than consumption. It's much bigger than consuming and, being a slave to your desires. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. And life's not going to come as you want it, right? It's not going to fit your plan.
Yeah.
Not going to fit your preferences.
Never.
Because it's going to come the way you need it to expose you to where you aren't free, where you're not open, where you're not growing, where you're weak, where you're struggling, and most of the time we don't want to see where we're weak, where we're a white belt. And jiu-jitsu is teaching us that it's worth seeing where you're at. Like really know yourself as a white belt, who you are, what you have to offer, whether it's nothing at all or a little bit, it matters, right? That's a light to someone. Someone can connect to that. Someone can understand that. That's a shared experience that someone else can relate to out of 7 billion, 8 billion other people on this planet, right? So just show up. Show up is the first step. Let's be white belts.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm excited for the next 25 episodes.
Yeah, man. We made it to 25. That's pretty awesome.
Back where we started, I was like in my garage with that racket going on, and
I think we were on our phone. We were recording on the phones. Yeah, on episode 1. So Yeah, I
progress.
accidentally listened to the beginning of episode 1 yesterday. I was trying to listen to, or the last episode, which episode 24 is a really good, deep episode too. A lot of value in that one. But I listened to episode 1, and it was just, you can tell the difference on the sound. You know, right when we started, I was like, "Is this recording? Can you hear this shit? Or you hear me?" You know, and the audio is like crappy and everything. I mean, that's only 25 episodes. You know, what will this grow to in 50? You know, what will it grow to in 1,000 episodes? You know what I mean? There's so many opportunities that open up when you start sharing the things you're passionate about with the world, because that's what the world needs.
Yep.
So,
and that's what we're here to do, is just get better as white belts, you know, at beginners
in life, or at the podcasting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue belts in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Don't get it twisted.
Dude, it's
colorful white belt.
I wish that the color of the belt like exempts you from certain, you know, challenges sometimes, you know, and my ego does, at least. It's like, oh, cool, I don't have to struggle with this anymore. It's like, nope, jiu-jitsu, you can't fake it. It doesn't matter if you're, you know, a black belt, you still got to show up, right? You still got to give your best. And that's what jiu-jitsu still requires of you. As it helps you grow, you're still required to show up and give your best.
Yep.
No faking it.
Yep.
So,
yep.
All right, bro. I got to go pick up the kid.
All right, man. Sounds good. I'm going to go monkey walk. And
yeah. You don't have to bite anyone at the
It's like my mating dance. I just start monkey walking, and fucking women start flocking around and shit. What is this? What's going on here? I'm going to go stand. I'm going to go do squats close to this guy. So anyhow,
it makes me think of those videos where you see the monkeys that like throw shit at people at the zoo.
Yeah. Or they like just
running around.
One time I took my kids to the Fresno Zoo, and the chimpanzee, or I swear to God, the chimpanzee, he's getting mad because he's an intelligent motherfucker in this concrete fucking bullshit, you know? Like, he's probably smarter than some humans, and he's looking out, and he just stands up and starts fucking jacking off right at all of us. Like, he just grabs his dick and starts fucking jacking off, looking at us, you know? And I'm like, my daughters are right there. I'm like, let's go. Let's fucking go. Jesus Christ. The fuck is happening right now? The zoo allows this shit, you know?
He's calling you out, man. What are you going to do, bro? What you going to do about it? You don't even know jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I know. And he'll just rip your fucking face off with one hand real quick, you know?
That's what you're going to do that at the gym next, or just start acting like that chimpanzee.
Throwing shit and jacking off.
Like, all right, man, you're taking this to the extreme. You're supposed to move your body like that.
Come on, man. It's natural, bro.
I was at the zoo. I thought that's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, shit.
It's not recommended. You'll get kicked out of the gym.
Yeah, don't do that. But try the monkey walk, 5 minutes. See how you do, and let me know. Try it, bro. Try it in your backyard, 5 minutes. Fucking walk around on your hands and feet. Try that shit. It's difficult, but do it with exert some energy while you're doing it. You know, like pick up the speed a little bit and whatever. But try it out and see how you go. It's a good workout. Yep. So anyhow, all right.
Awesome, man.
I think we're good. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, this didn't work out. Like this morning didn't work. Still got it done, and I'm grateful for that. So
yeah,
awesome job.
Right on. Yep, sounds good. At @soulrollers_JJ. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you, and we'll be back with episode number 26 next week. Leave a rating and review, and yeah, peace and love. Take care of yourself. Figure out how to naturally feel good, and do something with your life that's bigger than yourself and that affects the people around you in a positive way. And that's my message for today. Love you, man.
Love you.
All right, dude.
Peace out,
later on. Yep.